Society has sold us a dangerous lie, that obsession equals passion, that losing yourself in someone means you've found true love. Movies, songs, and social media celebrate the idea that real love should consume you, make you crazy, drive you to extremes. But psychology reveals a darker truth. What we've romanticized as love is often unhealthy fixation that destroys both people involved. Today, we're deconstructing this myth with hard science. You'll learn the neurological difference between healthy attraction and toxic obsession, why your brain treats obsession like a drug addiction, and how to build real love without losing yourself in the process. Let's start with your brain on healthy attraction versus obsession. When you experience genuine, healthy love, your brain maintains balance. Dopamine brings pleasure and motivation, oxytocin creates bonding, but serotonin stays stable, keeping your thoughts clear and rational. You feel drawn to someone, but you retain your sense of self, your other relationships, your individual goals. Obsession hijacks this system completely. Research shows that people in obsessive states have serotonin levels as low as those with OCD, obsessive-compulsive disorder. This explains the intrusive, repetitive thoughts, the compulsive checking of phones, the inability to focus on anything else. Meanwhile, dopamine spikes create an addiction-like cycle where you need more and more contact with the person to feel normal. Healthy attraction has specific characteristics. It's built on choice, not compulsion. You choose to spend time with this person because they add value to your life, not because you literally cannot function without them. There's balance. You maintain friendships, hobbies, and personal growth. There's respect for boundaries, both theirs and yours. You can disagree, spend time apart, and support each other's individual dreams. Most importantly, healthy love grows over time. The intense infatuation phase naturally evolves into deeper intimacy, trust, and partnership. You love the real person, flaws and all, not an idealized fantasy version you've created in your mind. Unhealthy fixation operates on entirely different principles. It's compulsive. You feel physically unable to stop thinking about them, checking their social media, analyzing every interaction. There's no balance. Your entire world revolves around this one person. Your mood depends completely on their attention and approval. Control becomes central. You need to know where they are, who they're with, what they're thinking at all times. When they set boundaries, you experience it as abandonment or rejection. You can't handle them having lives, interests, or relationships outside of you. The person becomes an object to possess rather than a human to love. You fall in love with your fantasy of who they could be, not who they actually are. When reality doesn't match your fantasy, you either blame them for changing or desperately try to force them back into your ideal. Here's the addiction science that explains why obsession feels so powerful. Every interaction with your fixation triggers a massive dopamine release, the same neurotransmitter involved in cocaine and gambling addiction. Your brain literally becomes dependent on this person for its reward system to function normally. When they don't respond to texts, don't give you attention, or show interest in someone else, you experience withdrawal symptoms, anxiety, depression, physical discomfort, desperate craving for contact. This isn't love, it's addiction, and like any addiction, it escalates over time. Attachment styles play a crucial role in who's vulnerable to obsessive patterns. People with secure attachment, typically 60% of the population, are less likely to develop unhealthy fixations. They learned in childhood that love is consistent and safe, so they don't panic when someone needs space or shows interest in others. Anxious attachment, about 20% of people, makes you much more prone to obsession. If caregivers were inconsistent, sometimes loving, sometimes unavailable, you learn that love is scarce and must be fought for. You become hypersensitive to any sign of rejection and will do almost anything to prevent abandonment. Avoidant attachment, another 20%, typically swings the other direction, fear of intimacy and emotional distance. But when avoidant people do become attached, they can flip into obsessive territory because they have so little experience managing intense emotions. Let me give you practical red flags versus green flags. Red flags of unhealthy fixation. You can't function normally when they don't respond quickly to messages. You've given up friends, hobbies, or goals to focus entirely on them. You justify behavior from them that you'd tell friends to run from. You feel like you'd be nothing without them. You constantly seek reassurance about their feelings. You check their social media compulsively. Green flags of healthy attraction. You genuinely enjoy their company, but don't need constant contact. You maintain your own interests and friendships. You can disagree respectfully and work through conflicts. You support their individual goals even when they don't directly benefit you. You feel more like yourself around them, not like you need to perform or be someone else. So how do you cultivate healthy love without losing yourself? First, develop a strong sense of individual identity before seeking serious relationships. Know your values, interests, and goals independently. Practice self-soothing techniques that don't involve other people. Meditation, exercise, creative pursuits. Set and maintain boundaries from the beginning. If someone pressures you to give up friends, change your appearance, or abandon your goals, that's a massive red flag. Healthy partners encourage your growth, not your dependence. If you recognize obsessive patterns in yourself, get professional help. Therapy can address underlying attachment wounds and teach you healthier ways to connect. Support groups exist for love, addiction, and obsessive relationships. Remember, the goal isn't to feel less, it's to love in ways that actually work long-term. Healthy relationships provide security, growth, and joy without the constant drama and anxiety that obsession creates. Real love doesn't require you to lose yourself. It invites you to become the best version of yourself while genuinely caring for another whole, complete person. That's not just healthier, it's actually more satisfying than the emotional roller coaster of obsession. Stop romanticizing possession, control, and emotional dependency. Start building relationships based on choice, respect, and mutual growth. Your future self will thank you.